Starting to show a little life now. Hey there, it's Pete with GCI Turf. Hope you're having a great day. And I don't know about you, but I'm sick and tired of rain. I know you boys up north are getting hammered with a lot of snow, but man, we just getting hammered with rain. It's been raining non-stop. It's making it very difficult to get out in the yard and do things, not to mention run a business that we actually do work in yards. So it's been a scheduling nightmare, and what do? You just work with it and do what you can do and roll on, right? So hey, I owe you an apology. I kind of got a little carried away with maybe a little more advanced type lawn care stuff, and a gentleman sent me an email and kind of reminded me, said, hey, you got beginners coming in, and you know, those guys, some of this stuff you're talking about may be a little bit deep for them. So he kind of helped me get back on track. And so what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna start a new, I don't know, you can call it a series or whatever you want to call it. I'm gonna make 5 or 6 or 8 videos on just bare bones beginner lawn care, on where you start, what do you do, what do you look for to know when to start, and all that kind of thing. So we'll just call this video number 1. So I think the absolute number 1 most important thing, that if you don't get anything right, you need to get this part right so that you know how to proceed. You need to know what kind of turf you have, right? I'm going to link up in the description a link that'll send you over to NC State turf files, and it's a page dedicated on turf grass, showing the different kinds. You know, you can really dive into that and look at the actual plants. Got pictures of the different plants up close, and shows crowns and stems and leaves and all that kind of thing, to help you get a good idea or a good mental picture of the turf type that you're dealing with in your yard. Now, another big deal, where you live is going to pretty much determine the type of turf you have. It's either going to be a warm season grass or a cool season grass. Now, inside those two categories, you're going to have several different types of turf inside that. So for warm season, some of the more common ones are like Bermuda, Zoysia, Centipede, St. Augustine. Now, some good examples of a cool season turf are going to be things like Kentucky bluegrass, ryegrass, folks grow bent grass, things like that. Tall fescue, that's kind of my niche, I guess, if you want to call it a niche. This is a tall fescue yard. It's about 75% tall fescue and 25% bluegrass. And then of course we got solid patches of fescue back there in the back and over there in the neighbor's yard. So why is all that important, that you know the type of turf you have? Well, it's important because different turfs are going to require different ways of maintenance or different schedules of maintaining the turf, meaning the way you mow it. That's a big deal. The way you water it, the way you fertilize it, the herbicides that are labeled or allowed to be used on the different turf types. So all of that plays a crucial role. That's why it's so stinking important. You've got to know the type of turf that you have. Those of you that are kind of watching this to find out what the Carbon X is doing, it's actually bringing the yard to life pretty dang good. Like I said, since I put it down, we've had a lot of this light, hazy, misty type rain, had a couple of good showers and stuff between all that, and really ain't had a lot of sunshine, a lot of warmth to kind of make all that kick in gear, but it's looking good. The higher bricks back there, of course I put it down about 3 weeks before the Carbon X, so it's showing a better color right now because it's just been on the ground longer. Same thing over here in the neighbor's test plot, just the higher bricks has been down longer. Of course, you know I've been using the higher bricks for a while now. I know all about it, know exactly what it does. I'm going to learn Carbon X this year, and you're going to watch me learn it, because I'm going to show you everything I do that revolves around the Carbon X fertilizer. Well, I'm still learning how to do all this stuff. That's about the best way I know how to do it. Share it with my phone on a screen share. But let's look at this map. I'm trying to teach myself how to do a green screen. I'm learning where I have myself here and I can kind of point to the background, which will be cool. It's a little fancy, but I'm trying to learn. I always like that kind of thing. But right now I'm just going to use my TV and screen share, and I've got me a 7-iron right here from my TaylorMade set of clubs, but I'm going to try not to hit the TV, because if I hit it, I'll be in big trouble with my wife, and of course I'm not going to like it either, because Duke and Carolina play today, and we don't want to miss that. So here's the good old United States. I love my country. Thank you for those who serve our country. I respect you for that. But the country, for the most part, is going to be broken up into 3 different sections. Down here, down south, you got a strip down the middle called the transition zone, and the northern areas of the country up here. And for the most part, I'm going to use a grip end. For the most part, your cool season turf are going to be, for the most part, up here, okay? For the most part, all of your warm season turf are going to be down south. You've got this one little strip across the country right here, and they call it the transition zone. I live right about here, so I'm dead in the transition zone. What makes the transition zone unique, in my opinion, is as it relates to the weather, it does exactly what it's called. It's a transition, meaning you get the best of both worlds. We can get a harsh winter. We can also get a harsh summer, meaning we can get so hot and so miserable and so humid, you don't even want to go outside. Heck, you just want to lay down in a bath of ice cold water, right? So we transition between the 2 weathers. We get the best of both worlds. So what does that mean for turf types? Well, it means turf types, you have an option. You can pick one or the other, okay? Your warm season grasses are going to, like Bermuda and St. Augustine, or we really don't have St. Augustine here. Bermuda and zoysia are going to be our most common ones in this area for warm season. Okay, now when it gets cold, that grass is going to go dormant, turn completely brown. I'm going to throw up a picture right here on the screen, and this right here is a 100% Bermuda yard, and it's what it looks like during the winter time period. Now, cool season turf is going to kind of be just the opposite, okay? The cool season turf is going to be green and going to be thriving and going to look good in the cooler weather, hence the name. When it gets smoking hot, really dry, that's when your cool season turf starts having some problems. So the big question is, well, I know the map says cool season grass up north, warm season grass down south. Pick one in the middle. Can I have a cool season turf down south, or can I have a warm season turf up north? Here's my personal opinion on that, okay? I honestly think the further north you go, the less chance you need to even consider a warm season grass, simply because your winters are more devastating. They're colder. They can actually do more long-term damage to a warm season turf the colder it is for the longer time period that it stays cold. Personal opinion. I'm sure there's somebody up here that's got a Bermuda or a zoysia yard that looks pretty dang good, and they probably have to spend a little extra time on it, a little extra work to make it happen that way. Maybe so, maybe not. Down south, can you have a cool season turf down south? Well, we're going to put that to the test for sure, because my GCI Turf grass seed, I've got a yard planted with it right here. And that's about as southern as you can get. It's right on the border of Mexico down here. So I'm gonna throw up some pictures of that. I'm really, really proud of this guy. He done an exceptional job. He killed off his existing turf and renovated it and went back with GCI Turf. And you can see by the pictures, it's looking some kind of good right now. Man, I'm so proud of him for doing that and taking this challenge. So since he's done this, I've made a commitment to this gentleman that I'm going to give him some personal one-on-one advice whenever he wants it throughout the entire course of the year to see if we can get that turf type tall fescue to stand or to hang around and to do well that deep south. So I'll kind of keep you updated on that as we go through the year. But in general, my answer is yes. I honestly think you can have a cool season turf. Probably not a ryegrass or probably not a bluegrass. More likely a fescue somewhere in the south. Okay, when you get down deep south and you get into super sandy soils and stuff like that, you know, you might be wasting your time. This guy does have a clay soil, which is good for holding water. So we're going to work with him on watering and disease control and that kind of thing, and we're going to see what happens. So just to clarify this, so nobody says, hey, Pete told me I could have a Bermuda yard in the northernmost tip of Maine, and Pete told me that I can go down there beside Allen in deep southern Florida and plant tall fescue or bluegrass. I didn't say that, okay? I want to make that clear. What I said is, for the most part, your cool season turf is going to be up north. For the most part, warm season turf down south. For the most part, you can have one or the other in the transition zone or even a mixture. We got many yards around here that have a mixture of tall fescue and Bermuda grass, common Bermuda. So you have the option of one or the other. What I meant by what I said earlier was you can have a cool season turf down south, or you could possibly have a warm season turf in the northern area, but it's going to take a lot more work, and it's probably going to cost you a lot more money in order to do that, or any of those kind of things. So I just wanted to make that clear. I didn't want you to think I was telling you for everybody down south to put fescue and everybody up north to do Bermuda. That's not what I'm getting at. So what I'm getting at is the possibility is there if you want to put the time and effort into it. You look right here in South Carolina and Georgia, man, I have a lot of academy people in this area right here that have fescue yards, and they're doing great. They look wonderful. They actually, I had several guys last year that contacted me in Georgia and was talking about how well their fescue was doing throughout the summer. So that's a big deal to be able to have that cool season turf growing down here in this warm season climate. So I'm pretty proud of that. So hey, thank you for watching. I know this video is a little different than what you normally used to seeing me out in the yard, but I'm inside the house today because it's cold and yucky and rainy and just flat out nasty. Really don't feel like going out there, so I wanted to take this time to show you some of this stuff for the beginner guys. Okay, like I said, I'm gonna keep doing some more advanced stuff and that kind of thing, but I'm gonna kind of dive back into some beginner stuff because I've just got a lot of beginner questions coming, and I feel like I could cover all that better in a video and kind of lay it out on the YouTube channel in one of those playlist things. So we'll kind of dive into mowing and watering and fertilizing and weed control and spraying, and we'll kind of go all the way back to the beginning and break that stuff down in real easy to understand ways. That's kind of where I think I have a way of teaching folks about that stuff. Is I'm a simple guy. I like to keep things on the down low and just keep it as easy and as simple as I can. Know your turf type. That is the most important thing. If you don't know your turf type, then everything you do moving forward could possibly be, have a negative effect, because you may be doing things wrong because you're not doing it do it in a way. What's a good way to word that? You're not working on the right turf the right way. Maybe that's a good way to say it. So if you're new, you're just chiming in and finding me for the first time, subscribe and hit your little bell thing so you can, every time I load a video, you'll get an email and it'll tell you to watch it. And you can go back through my videos. I got tons of videos on the channel already. We got GCI Turf Academy, where we're teaching folks to have a yard. We got a cool season guide, a warm season guide, sprayers, products for your dirt, fertilizer, the whole shoot and shabam. So it's kind of all there in one little package for you from start to finish. So I'll get crunk up, start pumping those videos out for you. Thank you for watching. I appreciate it, man. We got a busy weekend. I'm getting rid of my wife's on the way over here now. She's at D Now at church. It's called Discipleship Now. That's something our church does with our high school and middle school students, where, man, last night was such a joy that we had over 400 middle school and high school students in the worship center praising the King, worshiping Jesus. And what they do is they split up into groups of 8 or 9 kids, and we have a leader come from Liberty University, and one leader per group, and everybody in the church opens up their homes. Like we had 6 or 7 kids here last night and a leader, and then we get to fellowship with them and talk with them, and get to know these kids. Some of them are in my class I teach at church, and then we get to know the leaders, and we get to pray over them and just feed them the gospel all weekend. It's just a really cool thing. So we're wide open with that. My wife's coming to get me right now. We're going to see the Captain Marvel movie. I got to be back at 5:30 because Duke and Carolina play. Go Heels. And hey, speaking of basketball, I forgot to mention, you need to go to your Instagram, okay? And I want you to look up GCI Turf Services. I want you to follow it. You follow it right there, and you see right here one of my latest posts. You can see this free sprayer. I'm giving away this free sprayer right here. Sprayers Plus is sent me this so I can give it away. And I was having a little bit of fun. We've got 368 comments so far, but I'm asking, who do you think is going to win the national championship? Of course, there's a lot of UNC votes, a lot of Duke votes, Gonzaga, Syracuse, Tennessee, Kansas, man, all kind of cool thoughts on this, and I just wanted to make it fun, so I did this. So go over here to my there's a Kentucky, Tennessee. A lot of the same teams right here. It's pretty cool to see who all everybody's pulling for. But go to my page, GCI Turf Services, follow the page, and then comment, and I'll put you in a drawing. And then April 1st, I'm going to draw somebody out off of like a auto number generator thing or whatever they are. And I'll send you that sprayer if you win. Have a good day, and get your grass type right. Check you later.